Hey everyone, I am Teresa from Jeremiah Dreams, and welcome to my studio. I am so excited to be a part of our YouTube hop tonight, and I hope you all have enjoyed what you've seen so far. And as you come in, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I am always curious to see where all of my friends are from. Tonight, I'm going to be working on. I know that uh, the creative brought before me, and y'all forgive me. I have just flown in from work, flown in from keeping grandchildren, and my brain is kind of fried, panicking and trying to get all this situated. Let me turn my fan on because I can feel these lights starting to heat up. So, what we're going to do tonight is, let's see, I don't know who that is, so I won't pay attention to it. Tonight we're going to work on an ornament, a Christmas ornament. And I know, hey Lisa, how are you? Lisa kicked us off this afternoon. And I apologize, Lisa. I have literally just gotten home from work and my brain is still like from traffic and grandbabies and all of the things. So I'm trying to breathe. It's going to be fun. And y'all, the wonderful thing about art and being creative is that is my therapy, my zen, whatever you want to call it. It is the thing that helps me unwind. And I just love it. So tonight, in fact, let me because hang on, down underneath, y'all bear with me a second. I want to do something on one of these wood rounds. I've got a little thing in mind. That's right. I have a little project in mind that I want to do. I've been wanting to do this for a little while. And it's painting. I love gingerbread. And so tonight I'm going to do some gingerbread. Now, these little wood rounds came from Hobby Lobby. This one is a little bit warped. So let me try. Sometimes with these thin pieces of wood, you just got to kind of see which one is going to work the best. Because, I mean, it's balsa wood. It's soft and it can sometimes warp. I also have a camera overhead that I'm going to switch to. Get this put away and out of the way. I'm going to switch to real quick so that you guys can see what we're doing here. And let me just flip these a little bit and bring this a little bit larger, just like that. You can still see my face, but hopefully you're going to see my workspace even better. There we go. Hey, Mary. You did, Lisa. Great minds think alike, girl. That's what that is. Okay, let me get my resource pulled up real quick. It won't take me but just a second. So I hope you all have had a wonderful day. Bear with me one moment. And again, this is coming, flying in from work. Where is it? I had it. Oh, there we go. It is weird how things are different on an iPad versus an iPhone versus the laptop. So, part of my dilemma. And I've got several people sending me messages. So, we're going to get started here. All right. So, I'm going to start first of all. I like to use, instead of white chalk paint, hi, Eileen. How are you? I like to use plaster. Let me grab that. I've got another one that's getting, no, that's cashew. We're not going to use that one. Okay. This is a new bottle. I finally had used my whole bottle of plaster, which is another indication that it is one of my favorite foundation colors. So let me get this open real quick. And where's my scissors? There they are. So my friend right before me was talking about her craft room, that if she ever was in an earthquake, that you would not want to be in her craft space. And I'm kind of like that as well. I mean, it just takes a lot of stuff to be creative, right? And I've tried to pare down. I have moved in the past year. In fact, I moved twice. And I weeded out and cleaned out quite a bit. Get this paper off. It is really on there. But I need to go through that process again now that I'm in my house. Let me put these paper towels on the floor. And y'all, I dream about, I don't know about you guys, but I dream about having the dream craft studio with the IKEA tables and desks and cabinets. And that's just going to have to be a little at a time. It's sort of a process. Okay. Got that ready. Let's go ahead and get a paper towel. I like to just use a paper towel to protect my tabletop. And I'll share another little tip with you that I do. I don't care for cleaning my brushes when I'm finished with a project. So I keep 2 jars of water available. One has dish soap in it and the other one's just clean. And that way I clean my brushes as I go. And I don't have to worry about standing at the sink in a big mess to deal with once I'm finished with my project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to base in. I probably need a little bit wider brush. Let me change brushes real quick. And I'm just going to base in some chalk paint just to help prep the wood so that we can put our image on here. So those of you who are new to me, I am an artist. I do dabble in crafting. And most of the time I'm doing pieces of work that are probably more in the fine art category, but I strive to try to show you how you can do it too. And you don't have to feel overwhelmed by all the details. And that's kind of what I want to do with you tonight, is show you how simple even a little gingerbread man can be. And we can make him ready for Christmas. And what I have in mind is to use this piece in a wreath arrangement. So I'm kind of creating my focal point for my Christmas wreath for my door. And I just felt like gingerbread would be perfect. I have 2 granddaughters, 5 years old and 1 year old, and they would really enjoy a gingerbread something. Hey, Luann, how are you this evening? Hey there, my friends. I'm so glad Funky Junk is here. Y'all, thank you. We are part of a creative community that is so good about supporting one another. And I just feel so honored to have been invited to be a part of this YouTube hop. I'm just drying this with my dryer real quick so that we don't have to wait for it to dry and we can get on with the fun things. One thing you want to be sure to do when you're drying your surface, drying your paint, is not to allow it to stay in one place or touch, because you will blister the paint. I've certainly done that several times. I'm sure we all have. So I don't know about the other ladies, but I do work outside the home. And this is my favorite way to unwind from the day. It's just to get in here and kind of get lost. And I'll be honest with you, by the time I do my creative business side of things, there's not a lot of time for me to just kind of chill and just do and just get lost into the process. Okay, so I'm going to pull out one of my favorite colors of paint. And y'all, this is just me. I love the Anita's brand acrylic paints. They're very affordable, and I love the texture of them, the thickness of them. And earth brown is one of my favorite colors. I may have a little bit left in a tube right here, and that might be just enough that I don't have to break into the new jar yet, the new bottle. All right, so I'm gonna show you how you can do this too. You can paint a gingerbread. And whenever you're approaching a project, you just want to break it down into what are the shapes that I'm seeing. So we're not going to do an entire gingerbread body. We're just going to do, of course, the face and maybe a little bit of his upper torso with his arms. And we're going to keep this kind of loose and fun. So I'm just going to get some of this brown, this earth brown on my brush. And I'm going to think about, let's do this first. Back up one step. I'm going to kind of sketch, kind of for placement purposes. And I use a friction pen by Pilot. It is a wonderful pen that if you make a mistake at all, it disappears. And let me show you what I mean. So I'm just going to scribble. I've kind of made a little bit of a mess right there. And I'm going to apply heat. And it erases what I just did. So this allows me to kind of sketch first kind of figure out how I want to do things, and then I might want to even go larger for his face. And we'll get this a better circle whenever we start painting. And then if you look at a gingerbread, I'm kind of referencing some photos, different photos online. There's just a little bit of a curve right at the neck. And then his arms kind of come out. And I'm going to turn this just a hair so I can get to this side a little better. And I think we need to have his arms kind of doing something. I'm going to kind of go this way. Let me see how the bottom of his arms are. They're more angled, I think. We're going to go this way. And kind of bring that back down. Kind of like so. I think that's a great start. We may even make this a little girl ginger and give her a bow. So I'm just going to start in by basing in the head, which is a big circle. Now, once this is finished, there's all kinds of embellishments that you can do that would kind of give it some pop. And I'm going to kind of venture into some of that as well. So we're just going to base in our little friend here. So have any of you ever painted a gingerbread? Do you enjoy painting? I don't want you to be intimidated. I want to show you how simple this can be. And the sky's the limit with your art. And when I do a circle or kind of a shape like that, I kind of let my bristles fan out and create the outer edge for me. I'm going to add another coat while it's kind of drying. You can see it looks kind of transparent, so we want to get a nice tone going. So feel free to ask any questions as we go along. We're just going to capture our little curves right here. We're going to add some shading in this. That's going to kind of help with some dimension. Try to get the width of the arms just right. So if you're new to me, what was the name of that pen? It is a Frixion, spelled F-R-I-X-I-O-N, and it's made by Pilot. And it has been a game changer for me. Okay, let's just kind of even these strokes out a little bit. Probably need to make his body just a little bit wider because we want to keep him balanced with his head. Don't want him too skinny. We're going to give him a sweet face though. So we got to get a nice base in here. Get this over here where I can reach it a little better. May have to get my dryer out and go ahead and dry it so I can kind of see where we are with how many coats we need. Okay, let's go ahead and dry this, see where we are. I love painting too. I'm working on a piece that is a church on the old hymn, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And I started that on my Facebook page earlier this week. And I'll probably will work on that some more this evening over on Facebook. So if you're in, if you do frequent Facebook, You can find me just as Facebook.com/Jeremiah Dreams Creations. Let me get a little bit more brown. So you can kind of see where you need to even out your tones. This bottle's about done for, and that's good. Y'all, I have so much paint. It's crazy how much paint and different colors. And you know, I've gotten to where I mix a lot of my colors myself. Create my own shades, and I don't need as many various colors because I do tend to make my own tones and stuff that suit me for whatever project I'm working on. I'm just going to kind of round out this side a little bit. So I'm very blessed. I get to pick up my granddaughters every day from daycare. And y'all, there's just nothing like getting there and at the end of their day, at the end of my day, and they see me and they just light up and just come running to me. And it's just such a joy. And we come to my house, and usually we have apple juice and popcorn. Today it was goldfish. But I'm so thankful that I've been able to move and be close to them where that I can help out and take part in their daily lives like that. I wouldn't trade it for $1 million. I used to live in Western Kentucky. My hometown is Mayfield, Kentucky, where last December 10th, the tornado, the EF4 tornado, struck my hometown. The crazy thing is, my U-Haul left Mayfield, Kentucky at about 8:30 that morning, and the tornado struck at 9:30 that night. And my son-in-law said, I knew you were supposed to move to Alabama, but when that happened, I knew you were supposed to be here with us. So I still had family back there, my dad, my sister's daughter and granddaughter, and my son, who is a police officer in Mayfield. And he was assisting with search and rescue at the candle factory that was all over the news. And it was just a very scary time. You know, we were here, my sister, my brother-in-law, my mother were here helping me move, and our loved ones were back home. We did not sleep that night for trying to reach everybody and see how everybody was doing. Let's see how this did, and maybe we can get on to some details now of our gingerbread. So you guys, as you can see, these are really very simple shapes. The head is a circle, and we kind of did a little crescent for the neck, and just straight line, and a little another crescent here, and other straight lines, and just filled in between. So we're getting a nice tone for our gingerbread body. Okay, we're going to let this rest for just a minute, and I'm going to show you what I mean by mixing some of my colors. It's really nothing extraordinary, but y'all are liable to hear my fur babies in the background. Let me just forewarn you. I'm going to get some white, and I need probably a little bit of black. We'll go ahead and get some out. Black is a very strong color that I love to use, and it just doesn't take much. Oh, I had a big blob come out. As I said, it didn't take much. I had a big blob come out of the bottle. But I'm going to pull over, since brown is darker than the white, I'm going to pull some brown over here to the white. And I'm trying to find a good highlight color, a highlight tone. And I don't want it too light, but I want it to be a very nice blend of my base color and the white that I'm going to use for some highlighting. Now, when I do highlighting, there's a lot of artists. Oh, there he goes, y'all. He's a mini schnauzer, And he has to let the world know. Let me close the door. Hold on a second. You'll still hear him, but maybe it won't echo as bad. Oh, fur babies. Okay, so I do my a lot of artists do double loading of the paintbrush. I don't. I kind of do mine different, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to start and work on the top of his head, and I've got quite a bit of this lighter brown on my brush, and I'm just going to kind of go along the top, and I'm going to kind of twist my brush and bring it to a point right there. I'm going to kind of pull this over and down and let this side over here be more of my edge, so to speak. So I'm kind of getting that color off, and I'm going to get some moisture on my brush, like dip my brush in the water and have this moist brush that I'm then going to come back and kind of blend. Now this is how I do it, and this is just, I've tried doing the double loading and I wish I could get it. I struggle with it. So if you struggle with it too, this might be another option for you. So you see how it kind of just blends. Water with acrylic, which is acrylic paint, is water-based. So with water-based paint, I'm just going to kind of round this out up here. Water makes a wonderful blender and an eraser. So if you ever feel like you kind of messed up with a little bit, if you can get a hold of it while the paint is still wet, a lot of times water will just kind of be a great eraser for you in that process. So we've got, and I'm kind of got him coming at an angle. So let me get some more of this lighter brown. We're going to add some right through here. And we want some on the top of this arm. And I'm going to grab some moisture, and we're just going to kind of pull this down. And just kind of blend it on out and grab some more water. I think he must see the neighbor. I bet you money. And if I want to create even more of a narrow highlight area, I'm just grabbing some more of my original tone and just kind of working it in till I kind of get that highlight to be the shape that I want. You see that? Get a little bit of paint right there, see if I can get that to settle down a little bit. And I just kind of work on blending until I get the look I'm going after. Okay. All right, let's come over here to this other side. I know I kind of put some of the light color in. We're going to add a little more because I need that paint to be wet. I'm going to grab some water. We're going to blend it. Grab some of the original brown tone and blend that in there, and it's going right on that moist paint. Just kind of get a nice blend, a nice edge there. Because you know, a gingerbread person, male, female, whatever, they kind of have that edge to it, and that's what I'm trying to capture, is that edge. Okay, whoops, I got a little too much into my white area of my brush, so we're just going to kind of go over that. All right, let's dry this and kind of see where we are. All right. Get my brush clean. Let's go ahead and add a little more highlight to the center of his face. Just kind of mixing up some more highlight color. I don't know exactly how this is going to turn out, y'all. I kind of mess with it and play with it until I get the look I'm going for. So I'm just kind of laying in some color, and then we're going to blend this, and then we'll get into the details. So don't freak out thinking, oh my goodness, what is she doing now? Bear with me. Just bear with me. I'm just going to kind of blend this with some water and kind of dilute it down. And if it doesn't give me the effect I'm going for, we'll just paint over it, because y'all, it's just paint. And I'm just wanting some lighter tones in this area and some highlights, so that when we start adding the details, this is kind of like the backdrop for the details. It's one way to look at this. So it's kind of looking like a mess at the moment. That's getting ready to change. So I want to follow this circle down here a little bit. Not a lot. My little dog is very tore up with whatever he's seeing. All the doors are locked, so there's nothing to worry about. I'm going to kind of thin this down some more. We'll add a little more brown just to kind of help blend. And even though I'm laying in a very thin layer of this brown, you can still see I'm going to have to go in there and get him and bring him in here and shut the door, I think. You can still see the lighter tones underneath it. Can y'all see okay, or is there too much of a glare? Maybe a lot of glare. Let me go grab this dog real quick. My goodness. Baxter, come on. Come on. Come here. I don't know what you're talking about. Goodness. Goodness gracious. You're just coming here with me. We'll just chill out. Here he is, everyone. The little culprit. He's just, I don't know if y'all can see him very well, but he's a little toot. That's what he is. He's my little boy. Okay, let's get back to this. One of the things I want to go ahead, while this is drying, I'm going to add in some rickrack. I'm just going to start with just a small round brush. I'm just going to freehand. Hold on. It's too far away from me. And this is a small round brush, but it lets me have more freedom with my waves. Okay. I'm going to enhance this one right here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add some on the arms. We need to bring this on around. Now this white will probably need another coat, but I think that's a really nice start. Let's go ahead and add some here. And we're going to let it run off the edge. Like so. We're going to need some red. This is interesting. Thank you, Mary. I'm glad you're enjoying this. It's hard to know sometimes what really interests people. But I have to just kind of go with my gut sometimes. I'm using, this is actually a folk art color called Christmas Red. I'm going to use this for his little nose. Again, using the same round brush. I'm going to thin down my paint just a little by pulling a little drops of water from my clean jar and just thinning this down because it was a little thick. It's getting toward the end of the bottle, so it's thicker. So let's put his nose right in the center. We're going to let that dry for a minute, and we're going to add a smile. And as I get near the end, I'm kind of pulling up my brush a little bit so that it makes more of a thinner tip area. Okay. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. I am so sorry. Receiving that FaceTime through my phone for a loop and I can't get it to unmute. So I hope y'all can hear me now. I'm so sorry. It was my niece trying to FaceTime me and I rejected it. And then she tried again and I rejected it and um, it threw the microphone off. Hopefully you can hear me now. So see, just a simple gingerbread does not have to be, oh, good, Brenda. Thank you, ma'am. Doesn't have to be daunting or, you don't have to be intimidated by it. It's just simple shapes. Anything you try to paint, just try to mentally break it down into what shapes are comprising what I'm wanting to paint and then go from there. I'm going to add some more green. Kind of build this color up a little bit. All right. Thank you, Lisa. All right, you guys. One thing I want to do is going to help with the details of this fella. I'm going to take, let's get some more light brown mixed. And I'm thinning it down as I go. I don't want it too watery, but I don't want it thick. I want it to flow. That's the purpose of thinning it down with a little bit of water. So what I want to do is I'm going to highlight right above that mouth. Kind of thinking about where would light hit it. And then right above these little cheeks. Now I need to add back in some of the red. If you ever feel like your brush has gotten away from you, nope, don't worry. Just add some more back in and it'll be just fine. Also, outlining these white cheeks like this kind of helps you improve the shape of the circle. And y'all, here's another thing. I hold my brush pretty close to the end so that I have better control. You got to find where it's comfortable in your hand. See, that just kind of helps his little face to pop a little bit more. Thank you, Mary. Oh, Brenda. Thank you, ma'am. I'm glad you're enjoying this. I want to ask you guys to share this. Um, we are trying very hard to grow our YouTube channels, and anything that you guys can do to help us grow, we are so appreciative. And these little highlight and shadow elements of this just make such a big difference. Now, let me show you one other thing. I need to kind of, hold on. I'm going to kind of fuzz. I call it fuzzing, but I'm just kind of blending because I don't care for lines, harsh lines a whole lot. So I'm just going to kind of blend this out. This is just my personal preference. I may have a little too much water through here, and that's okay. It'll dry. It'll be just fine. This is, just going to be a fun project. So let's add a little more darkness right over here, just so it matches. Kind of gives it some dimension. Now, let me show you this. I'm next going, this is going to seem a little weird, I think. I'm going to pick up just a touch of black and bring it over to my brown and get a nice shadowy brown color. Kind of like this right here. I don't like wasting paint. So I'm just going to use very lightly what's on my brush and go right underneath his eye. We'll do the same with his little nose. And let's do the same right underneath his mouth. Do y'all think this should be a girl or a boy? We need a little bit of highlight right above his nose. Look how his face looks dimensional now. I keep saying him. A girl? Okay. You add a little highlight up here. I'm going to grab another, a little bit bigger brush, and I'm just going to blend this out. And let's dry this. I'm going to grab a little bit of white. Give a little accent right there too. She looks real. All right, let's get just before we move on to a bow, I'm going to do the same treatment above these little button areas with putting a little bit of highlight color. Grab some water. Let's blend it out. I know y'all were probably thinking when I first started, what is she doing? That's okay. It's in these details that it really begins to pop and come to life. Grab just a little bit more. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this little tutorial. And I hope you guys will share us out there and help us to grow our channel. We cannot do it without you guys. We need you. And y'all are very important to us. And we just want you to know how much we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. You make a difference. You absolutely make a difference. Okay, let me get my little detail brush. We're going to add some shadow underneath. And so you can kind of see my brush got away from me. That's going to happen. And all you have to do is get your primary color that you started with, and you just kind of shape it back out. Okay. Let me hold it up a little closer so you can kind of see the buttons, how they kind of are popping. So one thing I think I want to do too before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and let's trim out these buttons with red, kind of like the cheeks are. There we go. Kind of helps give it some definition. All right, let's see if we can't do a bow real quick before we leave. I mean, we almost need to do a red bow, don't we? So we're going to kind of do it to the side. I'm going to start with the center and almost do kind of a, not a true round, but kind of a football, a full football shape, I guess you might say, a fat football. Okay, that's going to be the center. Then I'm going to come up. We're going to kind of dip in, kind of a heart shape, the top of a heart. Come over here, we're going to do another heart. Fill it in. Let me bring this bottom area out a little more full. Okay, I need some more red. I think I'm almost out of this color. I'm going to have to go buy some more. I've got some other reds, but they're just going to be a little different in tone. Let's get our center back. There we go. Let's dry this. Now I'm going to get a small flat brush. I'll pull a little bit of black over here, and we're going to get a shadow tone in the red going on. I'm going to use this around the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of that right up at the top of this little indentation. Okay. I'm going to pull a little red, because it's the darker color, over to the white. I'm going to get a highlight. I'm going to thin it down a little. It's a little thick. I'm going to use a moist brush. Just kind of blend. Pick up some red and blend at the base until we kind of get the look we're looking for with the highlights and the shadows. Y'all, I am out of time. I have like 1 minute left, and y'all need to go over to Funky Junk, I think is right, is who the next presenter is. And check her out. I will put in here at the end of this video, I'll go back and add the final product, or you can come over to see me on Facebook at Jeremiah Dreams. And I hope you found this very helpful, and I hope you'll give this a try yourself. So thank you all for joining me. I hope to see you all very soon. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.